Hello and welcome to Bud Explains, where I take a subject, be that rules, history or concept from the role-playing world, and try to explain it to you in a way that I hope helps you understand how it works. Today's explanation is the Trolls of Glorantha, or as they are known better, the Uz. Before I begin, I would like to offer my gratitude to the various artists, Dan Barker, Dario Corallo, Katrin Durham and of course Chaosium, who have kindly allowed me to use their work in the making of this video. One of the challenges that some new players face when first playing RuneQuest is the idea that the Trolls of Glorantha, or Uz as they are known, are not what you might call your typical fantasy fare. Trolls in many other fantasy settings are often brutish, regenerating sword fodder, dim-witted but fierce in battle, prime for experience point hunters. But as you'll come to understand, Gloranthan trolls are a different story entirely. So before talking about the history of the Uz, let us first talk about the different species. The mistress race of trolls, or Uzzers, are rare creatures that were born either during god time or through rare magical circumstances. They have supernatural abilities and are the de facto rulers of any troll society that they live in. They are hardly ever seen by humans, having an almost mythical reputation. Dark trolls, or Uzko, are what you might consider the normal troll of Glorantha, whose bloodline was cursed and as such their numbers have declined. More on that later. Great trolls, or Uzdo, are huge, powerful warrior slaves that were created as a byproduct of an attempt to break the troll birth curse. They are deadly and savage, though generally low intelligence, and are sterile. There is cave trolls, or Romel, hideous monsters that have been tainted by chaos and can regenerate injuries. They are bestial creatures that don't take part in Uz society. And we also have Trollkin, or Enlo. These are the product of a curse placed upon the Uz and are born to a wretched existence of slavery and suffering, only occasionally rising above their station, and are usually the most recently born trolls. In addition to this, there are also sea trolls, or Uztagor, jungle trolls, or Muni, and snow trolls, or Uzim. But for this video, we're not going to concern ourselves with those. Jungle trolls and snow trolls, however, do have a functioning society similar to that of the Uz. The Uz are a subterranean race that came to the surface world after Orlanth slew Yelm in god time. As Yelm descended to the underworld, his light forced them into a mass exodus from their lands, and upon emerging they decided to stay. The word Uz can also mean folk, and they are the children of their goddess, Kaigalitor. More on her in a bit. Physically, they generally have grey skin and snout-like noses, with either large teeth or even tusks, and are often taller than other humanoid races. They're generally nocturnal and have something called dark sense that is similar to sonar used by bats. They speak the language of dark tongue and are always hungry, being capable of eating pretty much anything, though they cannot digest iron. All lineage is traced through the female side, and dark trolls have poor fertility due to a curse placed upon the race by the illuminated god Nysalor, with most subsequent Uz pregnancies producing trollkin. There have been attempts at breaking the curse, with one failure causing trollkin to be born in litters, and the famous troll hero Crag Spider, the Fire Witch of Dagorian Karth, failing to break the curse and birthing upon the world the race of great trolls. In their society they live in tribes where females always outrank males, with essentially the strong outranking the weak, being for the most part matriarchal and having an almost zero in the way of social graces when compared to other humanoid creatures, at least at face value. They judge other sentient races by how they taste, with the Aldrai army being considered the tastiest, Mostali being intoxicating, Dragon Newts ashy, and humans perhaps thankfully just being thought of as tasting okay. The Uz have a fair-sized pantheon and worship many deities, though I've narrowed it down to what most consider to be the most widely worshipped. First up is the mother of all trolls, Kaigalitor. She is associated with the darkness and man runes, and led her people to the surface world during the Great Darkness, and fought against chaos. Her cult is primitive, possibly even brutal to weaker races, but the Uz take a form of comfort in it. Non-trolls who choose to join the cult of Kaigalitor can become officially adopted by the Uz, going through a series of initiation rites that transforms them physically into one of the race. Indeed, the legendary hero Arkat was somebody who underwent the rites and was transformed, being later known as Arkat King Troll. Beneath Kaigalitor, I have chosen 4 other important deities. We have Xeraxaran, the god of hate, war and destruction. He has the runes of death, darkness and disorder, and is known as the Lord Demon of the Legions of Death. Xeraxaran fights order and chaos with equal ferocity, and though many don't like admitting it, he was one of the main entities to help drive chaos back. His worshippers dress in red and are known as Death Lords. They're fond of using blunt objects such as maces in battle, as well as zombies that they've created to attack their enemies. The worshippers of Araxaran is frowned upon by the Uz, but tolerated, and worshippers are encouraged to find chaos and battle far away from their tribe. There is Zeola Umbar, the Uz goddess of healing and the sister of Araxaran. She has the runes of darkness, harmony and fertility, and is thought of as the most gentle of the Uz deities, and though disliking the light gods, she is friendly with Yelm. She has adopted the Trollkin and protects them whenever possible, being a favourite of Kaigalito due to her skills as a midwife. She's often portrayed as a clay pot engraved with a healing charm on the outside and a mouthless face inside it in the bottom. There is Organogar, the god of surface darkness and the Uz deity most associated with trade and contact with other races. He has the runes of darkness and harmony, and is often considered the Uz god of communication and coinage, being the cult that mints the troll coin, Bolg. The deity is popular with Trollkin. And lastly we have Gorikiki, the mother of insects. She has the runes of darkness and beast and allows the domestication of insects. Her cult has a large number of subcults that operate underneath it, with each associated with a different species of insect. She is often depicted as a gigantic, horrific version of the insect that causes the most trouble in a native land for the locals, that is reared by the Uz. If you found this video useful, don't forget to like and share it, and make sure to subscribe for more Bud Explains videos in the future. Bud out.